Sweat Equity Podcast and streaming show, Pragmatic Entrepreneurial Vice with Dig Jokes. I'm your host, Law Smith. Sitting to my right, left on your boob tube is Eric Reginger.
I'm a little guy.
If you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere where videos are sold, Eric looks really little. I look really big because we like a little silly humor now and again.
It's because you're a dick and you need to just lower the seat down like I asked you. Mine doesn't go up as high, and then even if mine's at the top, it's weight. Just lower your seat down.
Got that? You finished that? Someone's been drinking, but who's drunk on some good information when you can listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Laughable app. If you want to hit that cheat code that helps us move up the business rankings, we think it'd be funny if we were one of the top business podcasts out there. Subscribe, rate, and review. Just write one little sentence blurb, and that's all we ask of you. That's the cheat code to get us up. This episode is brought to you by Warby Parker. WarbyParkerTrial.com/sweat. Gets 5 free pairs for you to try on at home. I'm wearing my Warby Parker prescription glasses that I've had for over 5 years. WarbyParkerTrial.com/sweat. It throws a little shekels back to this podcast. It gets you 5 free pairs to try on at home. And
Give me money.
Look, don't go to Lens Crafters and get ripped off for $300 to $800. Seriously, they're all about the $95 pair of glasses.
Money me.
You're paying just the same. Don't buy Ray-Bans ever for that purpose.
Yeah.
They're a disruptor. They've been in the game about 10 years.
On Ray-Bans.
Right. They saw a problem in the eyeglass, sunglass industry and knew it didn't need to be that way. WarbyParkerTrial.com/sweat. 5 free pairs to try on at home. Have your family or coworkers laugh at you about how you don't look good in most glasses. And plus, Warby Parker has now brick and mortar setups in most major cities. If you're listening to this in a metropolis, you can go do it old school style that way if you want. The other sponsors of the show, ExpressVPN, try ExpressVPN at try ExpressVPN.com/sweat. Roan Fitnesswear, tryroan.com/sweat. Get you 20% off. Grasshopper, try grasshopper.com/sweat. Gets you $75 off your annual business phone line. And FreshBooks, go freshbooks.com/sweat. Get you a 30-day free trial for your accounting software. Let's get this party started with Patrick Keane, stand-up comedian. I'm a good friend of mine for 15 years doing stand-up.
Wow!
Hotty toddy!
What about my sweat equity? Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity.
Breathe in. Breathe out.
Sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Mr. Patrick Keane. Do you want to...
yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, at the top, you want to give everybody your plugs? Because I'll forget to do it once we start getting into it.
Okay.
Like any social, any website, anything?
Yeah, you want me to say that right now?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, thanks. I was hoping you guys would have your shirts off. I saw some clips without shirts.
Oh, no, you did research. Oh.
But nice. Way to get, that's commitment right out of the gate. Yeah, Keane of comedy, what I'm going by on all these things, social media, Instagram, Twitter, all this. Keane, Keane, Keane of comedy, Twitter, Instagram, all that.
And not spelled like Robert Earl Keane, right?
That's right.
That's
right.
Different Keane altogether. You don't know Robert Earl Keane?
I'm assuming he's a murderer of some kind.
Well, no. He murders the country music scene.
Well, the 3 names is what got me.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, he's Kean. I'm Keane.
Right.
Different murderer. Got
like the, so what's been going on? We were going back and forth. Are you hitting the road at all? Are you doing drive-throughs?
Yeah, I've been working with Steve Byrne a little bit. We were in Kansas City, we were in Vegas, and we were in one more market. I forgot the other market, but a few places. Social distance shows. Rooms are about a third of the way full. Some clubs are for it. Some are against. Obviously. Oh, we were in Arizona as well. And, it's a little tricky, but I got to say the audiences are appreciative. Even if they're not laughing, they're just happy to be doing something else.
Yeah. I mean,
it sounds tough. Sounds tough.
What's-
a third full? Man, that's like
Yeah.
just visually looking out and seeing that, it's like, oh man, crowd
Well-
sucks
Totally.
tonight.
I find myself being a lot. The less I get on stage, and it's been a while over here because there's just not a lot of mics. I mean, in Tampa, you don't really think about it for stand-up wise, but you can get up every night if you want. The thing is, like, lately I haven't done it because I got COVID, and I find myself being needier in conversation or
Yeah.
via email trying to write jokes in there. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've
all
got,
of a sudden, this is something that's happened
all of a sudden.
just since COVID.
Yeah. Since I got the COVID cooties, and so
You're writing more, you say?
no, like writing more. Like I think I'm more conversational on stage
yeah.
kind of stuff, but I find myself in non-comedy situations like trying to inject jokes where they don't belong, just because I'm not getting that feedback anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
are you finding something similar by not hitting the road? Because you're probably getting on the road normally 30, 40 weekends a year.
Yeah,
something
about
like
30 weeks a year. And then what I did was, like every other human in this country, I started a podcast when the pandemic started. So I'm like 20 episodes in now, and it's just half-hour episodes, and it's more of a diary. I can't imagine anyone ever listening to it. But what it's helped with is
I have a
conversation.
similar show.
Yeah. But yeah, I find the same. I mean, it helps with conversation and flow, and it's less jokey, and just more fluid and organic and honest, which I've never been on stage. I've always been just a joke writer.
Well, just
But,
for you
podcast world.
personally, I'm sure that makes you feel way better to get to just do that side of it and just be like, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
so jokey all the time. You can just
Oh,
kind of have
100%,
diary
100%.
style.
Yeah, I remember like when we
Yeah.
met doing Hermosa Beach, I want to say, whatever that place was, that was like a stilt bar down one of the beach towns that used to have.
Oh, the Comedy Magic Club?
No, I wasn't good enough to get in there.
The castle.
It was like a Irish restaurant that was huge, and that was hit or miss. Like it would be awesome
Yeah.
sometimes, it would be terrible other weeks.
Is that like a Kilkenny's or something
Yes,
like that?
yes, that's it. Yeah. Reddington
Yeah,
Beach, maybe.
Redondo.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm mixing my Florida and California beaches.
Yeah, that
but,
was like, wait, what?
but yeah, that I remember we met. I remember meeting you through that, and you're such a good joke writer, but so over it. This is probably 08, 09.
Yeah.
And literally would just tell jokes, but like turn off the light. There'd be like a ceiling fan light kind of bar show. And you just turn
Just
it
a
off.
thermostat before you go
Yeah.
on stage.
Just
I'm
casually
in
telling
charge
jokes
now.
that were like dimes and just turning shit off and just
yeah.
like talking to the wall and like
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to go bad, I want it to go really bad. Like, I at least want people to go, what is going on up there? Because, like, LA, it's so fragmented, and it's not like New York in terms of shows where you have people's attention. Not that every show in New York has that, but LA, it's like so many ambush shows that we do onto audiences, and they're like, what? And it's like, oh, another audience that doesn't even want to be here?
yeah. When the Lakers game was on, and they're like people it's at a sports bar and people don't know comedy's happening, and you're
Yeah.
like, I feel like this is assault a little bit on some people.
Ambush shows, I haven't heard that, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
Just, hey, we want to watch the game. Can you turn that mic off? Like, can you just
Oh,
do
yeah.
this
And the Lakers
outside?
back then were in the playoffs every year. The Lakers were champions and runner-ups all the time.
Yeah, football not so much, but yeah, basketball. When the Lakers were on, it was like, shut the fuck up, and you're like, I thought you guys would know.
jokes. I do jokes about Kobe.
And you're like, the venue
Oh,
doesn't
no.
tell anybody what's going
Yeah.
on. They don't care. No one cares. So it's just like, it would get 40 heads in there. The sports bar would be like, whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do.
They're not going to listen anyway.
Right. And I don't know. It was one of those things where I was listening to someone's podcast last night or today that was like, just listening to all the people that are starting to leave LA. Are you finding yourself wanting to make an exodus out of there?
Yeah, I was thinking about it towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year about going to New York. Normally you want to do that earlier in the career, but I don't have anything tying me down, and I love that city, and that's where you can really excel at stand-up. And then this pandemic hit, so I'm like, I'm not in such a hurry to go to, so I'd probably do a Queens or a Brooklyn situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA, like for example, right now I'm in Jackson Hole visiting my sister's family. Jackson, and it's funny because it's like
Wyoming?
Tampa. Yeah, it's like it's Jackson Hole, but everyone here calls it Jackson.
Oh.
And
Did you know it was
everybody-
Wyoming? You're acting like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. I've driven through there on tour.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Now.
Beautiful.
We
ski
did
town,
Cheyenne. We performed in Cheyenne
Oh,
and
you
then
named
drove
another
through.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
good job. You really.
Yeah, bombed
You're a
ass there,
geographer.
but yeah. I've done a gig in Wyoming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheyenne. Yeah, that's the capital, I think, isn't it?
I believe so.
But
With Casper? No.
but it's just like Tampa. What nobody calls it Tampa Bay that lives there, do they? Oh, that was all for the football team.
Well, yeah, the Tampa Bay is a marketing name, so it really encompasses the whole area. It's like saying the Bay Area for San Francisco, although so that includes Oakland and all the encompassing cities that touch the Bay Area over there. But like Tampa, the city is Tampa. Like if you look at our driver's license, it says Tampa. So
Tampa.
you can tell people that have never really, when they're talking about it on TV or something, and they're saying
And we're
like,
always on the lookout too.
they're saying, what,
We
you
know
live
who
in-
you are.
you live in Tampa
So
Bay,
phony.
you know, your ears perk up and you're like, okay, well that writer in that sitcom never
I'm
really
from Tampa Bay, Florida.
got it. Right.
Yeah.
I want to say Crashing, they did that that first season because the guy's
Oh, they called it Tampa Bay.
I want to say the guy that's the guy that is like the dude that
I don't think
I want to say it's one of those big shows recently. I can't remember which one though.
Yeah.
in Crashing. They definitely were gonna move to Tampa. But I don't think they said
Right.
Tampa Bay.
Oh, maybe it's not that. Anyway, it's one of those things. I know you're very detail kind of oriented guy, and I think that would bother you if you were like us from here, where you just hear it and you go, "Oh, fuck, that sounds right." But I was wondering what this background was behind you.
Oh, it's my nephew, my 9-year-old nephew's bunk beds. So
We should have probably led with
there's
that.
two of those. Good.
I was like, things are
Yeah.
really bad,
There's two
dude.
of
You're
those bedspreads.
you're in a hostel or something.
yeah, I had the guest room, but my mom's in the guest room, and then I got, I guess, cast down into the nephew's room.
This is when you do call it the Jackson Hole.
Yeah,
You're
this
not
is-
getting out.
Oh,
So
this
what?
is the what they call it in Shawshank, solitary or something, or in all
Just
prison
put you in the
movies.
hole. I thought.
The
They
Jackson.
put me in the
Hole.
hole, yeah. But no, I mean it's good to get out of LA always. But July and August in LA, it's just so hot, and the fires, and air conditioning is expensive, and nobody's got it. None of the
Fires.
like
I don't even
50
think of that as a concern anywhere, but I forgot
I
about
know,
that.
like they're chasing you around and stuff, but they kind of are.
It's legit. I mean, when California or LA County started running out of water, and California started running out of water, that was kind of like, ooh boy.
Wait, what? That?
They actually
That happens?
LA's in a desert. People forget that part. It's like it's not
They're
tropical.
pumping water in from Nevada or something. Not Nevada.
The Colorado River.
Somewhere crazy, like it's like, oh, that could shut down.
Yeah, and so I've had it since I've left LA 10 years ago. I've had a running email with my buddies over there that are still there or from there. That's just like Florida's crazy on the outside. California is crazy on the inside. It's like a mental.
That's well said. Yeah, that's well said.
we
Yeah,
got
you
all,
guys are
all our
crazy.
shit's out there in public,
You
and
guys are crazy on your emails with that back and forth.
that it's called the Crazy Debate
So cutting
email,
edge.
and it's like 1,000 emails long. One of those ones that's just forever.
Yeah.
But it's 9-1. It's me versus and our mutual friend Brendan T. Gleason. He's now taking the LA side of everything.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
So now it's just 9-1. I'm like, dude, you fucking traitor, bitch. But they'll be
Well,
like,
yeah, it's LA is not capable of handling the amount of people that are there. Like, there's just no way. I mean, it's it's an apocalyptic state.
well, if you look at it's the second biggest land like city or county mass. Like Duval County for Jacksonville's number one.
Area.
Yeah, and then LA is number 2. It goes from like something like Malibu all the way to like Riverside or something
Oh, God.
crazy. And
Yeah.
In California.
Riverside, the city, like that area, just has like 15 million people, 10 million people, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just an absurd amount that you don't even. That's not even the LA you could think about. That's where Breaking Bad was supposed to be,
Yeah. Well, it's like
and they didn't do it because of taxes, so they went to New Mexico.
even like Tampa Bay, like most of those cities are bigger than even Clearwater, Tampa.
Right.
It's like we don't even know.
3.2 million in the in the whole metro area.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like LA's like 25, 20, maybe 30 in that whole like just area of what
Ugh.
people consider LA.
I mean, yeah, it gets hot. July, August, everyone cranks the air conditioner, and of course,
If you have one,
your neighborhood shuts down. Electricity goes.
has
the
it?
grid is dead.
Have you seen more crazy shit going on the last couple months over there?
I've been staying at my mom's in Arizona a little bit just to get out, which is really hot. That's 115, but air conditioning is a lot cheaper. That city is very capable of handling heat. They've been dealing with it forever.
Yeah, it's like Florida.
But yeah, LA
every
is
place
just,
has like super cold AC, so it's not like
Yeah, or else nobody's coming or wanting to stay.
from the building to the car is like really where it sucks if you
Yes.
want it to.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's no comedy shows, there's no music venues, there's no shows in production. So like, I don't know, if you don't have passive residual income, or if you don't have a podcast or that makes money, I don't know how so many Los Angelinos are making money. I don't. It's like really frustrating.
I like that.
Well, I've been kind of obsessed with the idea of everybody having to pivot, kind of improvise what they're doing with their career. How have you kept sane in all of this? Because the anxiety, a lot of comics I talk to, or performers in general, are just like, I don't know if a lot of them are like, I don't know if we're going to be able to perform until 2022. So, like a lot of them are preparing like that. And a lot of them are finding like, a podcast as an avenue, but
It's not the same.
it's not the same. And it does help. I would say it does feed a little bit of that kind of comedy stuff. Sometimes I'll write for our show, occasionally.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll fall.
Really?
It falls dead because Eric's not
Oh.
a yes-ander. But
And then you reverse it back on me.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. See how I
got
did
it.
that? Real passive aggressive. But
And how else am I bad? Yes, and how else do I suck?
well,
that
you're
what you
not
want
wearing
from
a
me?
shirt, and it's
That
It's
I
giving
yes
me a
and
chub.
did. Oh, never mind.
Yes, and at the shirt.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick.
but
you raised the stakes. It was great.
I find that even just anybody in the kind of white collar professions, not so much my blue collar friends, they're still chugging along, and I feel like that they're not the ones that are getting COVID a lot, as much as people indoors huffing and puffing the same air kind of thing. What have you done? Anything in your routine to keep you, sane? Have you switched it up?
I was doing a lot of reading. I was doing a lot of Haagen-Dazs, but now it's like this company I started about 5 or 6 years ago called Guest of Honor. It's a corporate show where we myself and a partner go to corporate events, and we create a kind of a talk show setting around their corporate event, right? So like,
Nice.
That's
if
cool.
it's a retirement party, yeah. If it's a retirement party or a like service industry night or a holiday party, we go. We have the backdrop that looks like the late night. It's got the skyline in New York. We set that up. I set up a little portable desk.
Oh,
My
that's
buddy
awesome.
Dan Satchoff plays the keyboard, really small keyboard, and we bring the guest on, and we make the company the guest, right? Like
That's smart.
the whole monologue is about them. The whole top 10 list is about them. Parking and personnel and the lunchroom, and just bring on the guests, and we do an hour show. And so now we're trying to take that online for these corporate galas, Zoom galas, I guess they're
Oh.
called.
That's a tough
So-
step back, but I love what you
Yeah.
were doing before. It reminds me because I was getting into like red carpet events where it's like, it actually took a big shit on my chest, but we didn't follow through. But
You don't like that, to be clear. You're not like John McAfee. You don't like the shit on your chest.
Yes, not out of nowhere. No, but like it was like an alternative thing where it's like a marketing gimmick. Really, that's not everybody can do what you're doing in terms of like we turned it into a late night show.
No, the
Right.
common complaint. So for those that don't know, corporate comedy gigs are notoriously awesome, and like you get paid a lot to do them, but they always want you to talk about someone specific, like the boss, and it's really tough because they don't give you a lot, and you have to be very clean.
Yeah.
This way, this is a very smart way to position it because you're kind of you're hitting those needs they want in that, but also not you're setting it up so it's not like straight stand up, right? So you can ping and pong, and most people are terrible on stage, so you can kind of improvise with them too. I'm sure that
we get all the intel beforehand, and we give them as much as possible so that they're comfortable. Because I mean, the last thing we want is them trying to be too funny. And it's like, just be real, just be genuine. We'll take care of the rest.
Yeah,
and,
stay in the pocket.
Stay in the pocket. You know, and you're right about those corporate gigs when they're like, oh, could you talk about this and that and this? And it's like, how about we just make the entire show about, the boss or whatever situation you're celebrating.
No,
Let's just make the whole show about
that's
that.
brilliant.
No, I love that. It's like you're kind of putting it on them. You're able to interview somebody. You're not going to be throwing jokes out there that might be like, oh, shit, like, I don't know. But or they're written by some jackass who actually works there, you know, that's like fed to you. It's like, oh god.
But I'll tell you, man, you could there's definitely a good market for doing that on these Zoom calls. So I've been trying to help one group I'm associated with. I've been trying to help them with their ceremony that they do every year. And it's just like, I was like, you guys can cut this. Let's make it very tight. And just let's break up all the segments that we can use later for content and really just focus on that for this year. But the one thing that
they have like one person there who's all about the extended like pageantry, and it's
I'm
not okay that you're cutting their musical numbers, sort of stuff.
It's kind of like you have to pay homage to this person, these people that get an award, and it's like cool. They have a certain amount of time. Let's put it like let's act like an executive producer on it, kind of thing. But my thing is like. I've attended a bunch of these just to kind of get some research, and whoa boy, they need some kind of framing device like that, like you're doing. They need some kind of host, because it's usually someone that works at the company or someone that works for the group or association, and that's like, okay, now we're gonna get to the John. Are you there, John? Just know like, and I had to tell him like. Hey, when you introduce someone, make sure you say their name last. Like that's an easy tip that I've learned from stand-up, because the worst is when you bring someone up on stage and you go, John is the CEO of blah, blah, and then he enjoys bike riding. And like, you just bring this name up last. And they're like,
here he is.
I never would have thought of
that. You lose the moment. You lose that moment. Yeah.
And then if there's real life, they'd be on stage like, should I walk up? Or they'd already be like next to you while you're still doing it. So
yeah, well, the interactive thing is like that's great. Like the back and forth where it's kind of it's not so scripted, and that opens it up to a little bit of relaxation. I think for people where it's like doing a stand-up 5-minute or whatever. I mean, geez, you're probably having to do 20, 40. Like that's tough.
How much writing are you having to do? Like customized writing. I'm sure you got stock jokes at this point.
I mean, you got stock stuff, and then you you try to tie in any topical stuff that's clean, and then you get the intel on people. Usually there's something about the break room, or there's something about who's late for work, or who drinks the most, and it's kind of light roasty, but generally it works. It's only one time was it rough, and it was because we started at 9:00 on a Friday night.
Oh God!
Which is just such a mistake. I mean,
it's a Friday late show, man.
Yeah, it was. It was, and it was with a bunch of scientists in San Diego, and they were just like over it. And I was just like, why didn't we have
for a scientist, man?
Oh yeah.
They got to get up and do equations tomorrow and shit.
Thanks, science. It's Friday, but
they got to get up and do equations.
Play with their beakers.
Yeah.
Measurements.
Put on goggles.
Absolutely, man.
Has to be precise.
Yeah. Math.
So, it's fun. It's a good payday. It's you go in thinking it's G-rated, and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's PG-13, but really they want it G.
Yeah.
You can't get too edgy with this.
Yeah, but, man. I didn't know you were doing that. If it comes up, I'll try to push you to anybody that might need that service. Even
because sometimes we don't even need to be there. We'll coach people through it, where they can be the host, and we're like, stick to the script, with these jokes, and you should be fine. And then we give them crutches, like if the joke fails, Here's a few lines. Here's some savers. Here's some saves.
Oh, that's nice.
And then you can always be like, hey, we got a writer's strike. You go to those saves, have those.
Have you? I feel like I've done this for a lot of wedding speeches the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years, where someone's like, "Man, I'm real nervous. Can I walk this through with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fine." And then they'll pull out like an absurd amount of pages, and I'm like,
First of all,
if I could throw that away.
Yeah, throw the last.
And I'm like,
anything after number 2.
Anything longer than 3 minutes, you're really pushing it. And 3 minutes is fucking long for a toast. You better be crushing at that point. So you need some, like, I call it the jet ski key pull out. Just, you need to be able to rip it out and just like, if this doesn't work here, you're done. And just, this is where you give a toast. So you can always cut out whenever you're dead and just go, and bail yourself out by giving a toast. But
less is more. Less is more. Yeah.
Yeah. Get to the point quickly. And then when I've had to coach up girls doing it, the maid of honor stuff, they go way too mean or way too sensitive, and it's like,
or way too inside.
Yeah, and I'm like, no one knows who Catherine is.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that? They're like, I don't even remember. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
The bride doesn't remember.
I know a lot of people here like that. Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Remember, or they do the thing where they trade off every sentence, but it's not like one's a normal and one's the evil, one's that can work if you got the angel and demon side, but it has to be funny. Like they'll just trade off sentences. That has no punch.
Dude, so I've filmed, I don't know, 100 weddings, like as like a side gig.
Never, ever worked in that fact. That's never worked.
Yeah,
I've seen it, but it's never worked.
Do you guys get the? Well, no, I'll just make it up there. I'll speak from the heart once I get up there. And it's like it's not going to go well.
I just go, how many times have you done that? And it's gone well. And they're like 0. And I'm like, so you think you got this
Make
now?
Make it quick then.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get out of there.
That'd be a good. That'd be a good. That's a good like service y'all could promote too. Is being not for weddings so much because no one will. I think people have too much ego to really pay for that. But but
it can never be too short. Like don't think
exactly.
a minute. I mean, the Gettysburg Address was what, a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
we knew that.
I know. I listen to it every morning.
Yeah, I love the Gettysburg Address.
It's like
my favorite.
My favorite address.
Captain,
my
captain.
Man, you guys are on top of that. You're on top of Wyoming cities. You got it, man.
All of it. We know it all.
Well,
I feel like you're really jealous of what Patrick came up with the corporate gig.
That's tough work. That's tough work. Here's why I'm
I
not.
know in confidence.
It's not. No, it's not my. That
wanna-
isn't my
We'll
lane.
give
He's a great joke writer. It's hard for me to sit down and like cram out a bunch of jokes.
I know.
You have to do research.
So you're jealous of that.
I'm jealous of that skill for sure because that takes a lot of discipline to sit down and write and just I don't know. Do you have a quota every day you try to do?
Yeah, I mean, usually you want that. Like when they say, "Hey, can we see an outline in 2 weeks?" I'll probably work on it that night. I'll have a rough by that night because I just don't want to be unprepared. You know,
I would procrastinate.
I would procrastinate, not like you.
I would go. Okay, I'll get to it. I think about it for a week before I would actually start doing anything. You know.
I thought Patrick was saying he would do it the night before.
No, he was saying the night of. Like getting the assignment.
Oh.
Yeah, right? That's what you just said.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying, and then I would be the one to procrastinate.
No.
Sorry.
No, he's diligent. I would, but here's the worst part. I would think about it a lot and not do anything, which is something I'm trying to work on.
Sure.
Instead of just.
But I'll outsource jokes too, some of that. Like I'll be like, I'll go to a buddy. Hey, can you look at these put this on your plate for half a day, and I'll give you a certain amount of money just to punch up whatever, and because you want some fresh eyes on it. And then also we do finder's fees. If someone refers a company to us, we'll give them like 10% or something.
Yeah,
which is helpful.
That ain't bad. What's it called? So you have a creative process. I feel like that's always interesting to ask everybody. I mean, this show, if it's anything, we really want to have some kind of pragmatic advice somewhere throughout an episode.
Yeah.
Do you know how you found your kind of creative process?
Yeah, I mean, you keep pounding, right? You keep swinging away, and I really think show business is even tougher in a lot of ways than Wall Street or politics or tech, because I feel like those are more merit based. and Hollywood is a mess, and the business model is a mess, and you just keep swinging away. And I was at that time, I was about 15 years in, and I was like, this is just such moderate success for like, I'm so much better than this. I have the college degree. I've worked professionally. I'm friends with a lot of, as you and I are both friends with bigger name comics that you just can't get on a writing staff for whatever reason. You're not repped by the right people, or, it's weird to say, but for a white male heterosexual, once you hit 40, like the diversity thing, and it should exist. I'm glad it does, but you pay the price for that. And so it's like, you better start thinking outside the box. And so, yeah, I just kind of said, well, look at all these people. Every friggin' entertainer has a late night talk show, and they're all watered down. It's all diluted. So if everyone's going to have a late night talk show, then let's have every civilian have one too. I mean, like, why not make it karaoke like with these companies?
Yeah, they're writing them that day. It's not like months in advance of work. There's very little of that.
And you have the skill set to do it. That's the other thing, is like, you go, here's a need that other comics don't want to do. Why don't they want to do it? Well, they're not super organized on like a production side. It seems like, the first one was probably a shitload of work. Like, and it probably seemed almost insurmountable to go like, can we do this again kind of thing? But at the same time, you go, okay, I would trim the fat here, here, and here. I'd make this easier by doing this, by getting this info. We can automate some other shit, way ahead of time. We need this amount of lead time to write everything and to pull that creative from the client. I'm sure you have it kind of processed out by now,
Yeah, you get a feel for what they want. And because we also shape it, like, we had one company, and it was just, we just called it Your Company Tonight. And whatever your company is, like, Geico or Cisco or whatever. But then we also, some people want to do more sketchy stuff, so we'll call it like, McDonald's Night Live.
Yeah.
And we'll shape it more like a sketch show, So yeah, it depends on what they want. And Dan is good because I'm the comic and a writer, and Dan, my partner, is a musician, sketch character actor, puppeteer. So between the two of us, we can kind of collaborate. And he's worked a ton of corporate stuff. And it's just funny to me, like, all the sketch writing classes you can take all over the country. And what are there, 5 sketch shows on TV, maybe 3,
Right.
But there's no commercial writing classes. Like, there's commercials every second. Why, And I really admire, like, Geico and some of these companies that just made it silly and make quick hitting commercials. I'm like, oh, they need probably 2 writers, and they should tape it themselves, and they've cleaned up.
I've been made fun of for praising Geico's ads. I think because it's not, you wouldn't see a lot of comics talking about how good their stuff is. I think their ads are brilliant if you really take anything into context. It's like, they're funny, they're G-rated.
Well,
they get you within 15 seconds, sometimes 5.
Right, but you also forget that they're not doing just funny. Like the Gecko's not funny. They have, you could tell they have multiple marketing firms that are putting it out there, but they at least got one that they're taking, swings for the fences with.
Yeah. They're interstitials, I would say, or they crush it. And the Geico stuff is broad, and that's a mascot, and that's another creative campaign that they integrate, throughout.
My grandma loves it.
Well,
both my grandmas are dead.
My least favorite thing. I always wonder who laughs at a lot of commercials that are out there that are like 0. That's like a 0 out of 10. And I remember going in the airport and just seeing like just guys that are watching TV and like laughing out loud at like garbage, and it's just like, you really think the progressive lady's funny?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah. You got to think outside the box. These like some of these comics that just play New York or just play LA. And when I say just LA or New York, I mean just certain parts of LA and New York. Right? And it's like, man, you better get out there and see the Alabamas, see the Ohio's, see the, Nevadas. It's a bigger world. And if you're just writing for Comedy Central, that's a really small window. It's a huge margin of miss. You can't just write for Comedy Central unless, I don't know, if you've got a friend or a brother or a relative that's a director there or something, you can do that. But
it's something
you
to
really
shoot.
need to think outside the box.
It's something to shoot for, but you limit yourself as going, here's one of 3 places I want to write for, and also that's just TV networks in general. They switch up presidents all the time and switch up strategies, and then you could get signed and then get canned for no reason just because they want to just go in a different direction. You're like, well, I put all my eggs in that basket.
Well, exactly. You don't want to, because you'll get into like, this is my style of comedy. It's like, don't do that. Just like, you might kill it in Mississippi, but you don't know it. You know, like it's.
There's one chick that was
weird.
grandma. I'm sure you've seen her posters at clubs in the Southeast as like grandma something, and she fucking crushes.
Yeah.
Like sells out.
Right.
You never heard of her.
Right.
No one I know has ever heard of her. And when we were doing a tour like 10 years ago, we were following her. You could see like posters, like she was coming after us. So we were like, damn, this chick. And we looked it up. She fucking crushes. And you're like, no one knows of it. So there's so many segments now, and comedians are secretly very entrepreneurial. They think it's douchey to consider themselves that way. And it's like, no, I mean, it's risk taking.
You are a business.
You're the business.
Kind of no way around.
Well, that's where that stops, because they don't want to think of themselves as a brand, because that's where you feel like you're the man.
You're
but
a
it's
douche
like
then.
you're doing it
douche,
anyway.
You know.
But all right, man. Well, I mean,
Do you remember the movie? Oh, damn it, Donnie Brasco. You remember that with Al Pacino and Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
And there was a character in that. He's one of my favorite. James Russo plays the Italian. He's in that little gang. He was in Beverly Hills Cop. He was his buddy that dies in the beginning of Beverly Hills Cop. But he's Italian, Italian-German guy from New York.
Put it in the show notes.
Yeah. But he's got a great line in Donnie Brasco where they're trying to figure out ways to make money. And he just says, man, it's 50 wise guys chasing the same nickel. And that's what it is with comics, where it's like, ooh, I need to get that show or that show. And it's like that sitcom. And it's like, man, you better open up a YouTube account. You better start learning TikTok and Instagram. If you want to do this. I mean, it's still all about the writing. That's the core, but you've got to play some of these games.
It just goes back to just keep doing it, because
Absolutely.
even though your best stuff might have happened 5 years ago, the stuff you just put out yesterday might hit the right person, and boom, it's just so weird. That's how it works sometimes. Your worst shit might get you found out.
Well, the last thing I want to ask, because we try to keep these to about 33 minutes.
Okay.
What's it called? What advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
We're down to 13.
Yeah, 13. I purposely wanted 13 to see if anybody wants to, take an immature joke.
That's
at
great. I think start trying now, whether it's writing or even if it's just writing ideas and not writing stories or jokes. Write your ideas down and don't be afraid to look silly. Like, don't worry. Like, part of Dennis Rodman's greatness was he'd take the charge or he'd foul. He didn't care about looking silly. And so many guys are worried about getting posterized. Like, don't worry about being humiliated, because later on it's just going to make you tougher. Trump doesn't worry about looking silly. I mean, whether you like him or not.
Yeah,
I was going to say I love that.
Yeah.
And then, but Trump, you're right.
You love Trump.
I'm just saying.
He's like our coolest president of all time.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
But that maybe not the greatest example, or just not the most likable. But don't worry about just write and create and each time you're going to remove a layer of suck, and by the time you're 18 or 23 or 30, you're going to be a lot further along.
Did you find yourself not doing that early enough? Like,
yeah, I was worried about failure for a long time.
Yeah,
until maybe even my 30s, maybe
sure.
40.
No, I mean, everybody has a piece of that. You don't really lose that completely, but I'm saying, like, yeah, I had a football coach that got knocked that out of me early on. He's like, he put me in a game and I was shitty. It's like when I was 9th grade, he just put me in at a position like cornerback, and I didn't even play that. And he was just like, he told the JV coach, just, I'm going to put you in there. And so I went in, didn't know what I was doing. And then he's like, you're scared to fail. You're scared to miss a tackle, which makes you shittier.
That's a huge part of high school football.
And I was like, oh, and when that clicked, that helped a lot.
You're going to step up or not.
Right.
That's
and then
pretty much high school football in a nutshell.
Right. And the same can be said in a lot of directions. When you do stand-up, you're so scared to fail that you never branch out, and you always stick with this material, and you never grow. And it goes beyond creative. It goes into a lot of professional. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But all right, man. Well, thanks for coming on, dude. And
thanks, Eric. Thanks, Paul. Cheers, man.
Really
I'll
appreciate
see
it.
you around, buddy.
All right, buddy. We'll talk.
See ya.
See you, dude.
Oh, fair.